so cute. Did you hear her?
Perspective.
Did you hear her?
Holy
No, it's hidden by diffraction.
Oh, nobody's listening.
No, it would be distorted by diffraction, Arwen. Think about it.
Right,
Yeah,
do you want something to eat?
can't
little
see what's
munchkin?
beyond that properly. It's hidden
Come on,
by
then.
the effects that are there present due to Aries diffraction.
Yeah, you cannot zoom into the point of convergence. It's impossible. It's too far, and it's too many optical illusions in the point of convergence.
Hang on, you said it's too far.
That's right.
Think about that.
Yeah, we're dealing with perspective.
No, it's the same thing. We can't get there. So I'm on a flat Earth, okay, and I'm watching the sunset, and I see the sun illuminating the bottoms of the clouds on a flat Earth. I don't know why, and I can't get there to determine why. I just have to look at it and be satisfied with that.
How does the sun illuminate the bottom of the clouds on a flat Earth?
I don't know.
Hold on. I want.
They can on a globe Earth.
I can answer this question
very easily.
Oh, ask your question again.
Ask my question again.
Yeah, the last one.
Well, here, I understand it. I don't need you to repeat it, okay?
No,
if the sun
I didn't hear it too well. Sorry.
How can the sun illuminate the clouds from the bottom on a flat Earth? That was his question, I think.
No, I can answer that question.
Yeah, you did. But let me do this with Jimmy real quick. Hold on, Jimmy.
No, answer it. Go.
It's not Jimmy.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Well,
he wants you to. After that, I want to answer how the clouds descend behind the horizon. That'll be the next one. But go.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So, the sun disk that we see is at the epicenter of the daylight direction in the location where you are at.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, by that logic, if the sun disk is very close to the horizon or even below it, the daylight direction will still be coming from that angle. And thus, things can be lit up from the bottom for a short while. If they are high up enough.
Which would mean that the angle of perspective is that the clouds are high enough that the light from the sun is getting underneath them.
Hold on, I'll make it even more interesting.
If the sun's lower and closer, then our atmosphere must be lower and closer.
Look,
but there's
another effect. There's an effect you need to know about. Okay, and I've actually seen these in observations, thanks to Ranty's amazing footage here and there, of the sunset. And that is clouds that are close by are definitely going to be lit up from underneath. But if there's an open space and there's clouds very far backward, then they might actually be lit up from another angle because they're so far away. So while you see the sun disk at the horizon, you may see clouds close by being lit up from underneath, but other clouds that are practically in relation to the film footage still higher than that sun disk in the background will actually be lit from the top. Yeah.
So then that goes back into if I was having a conversation.
Oh, hold on. Almost done. Like 30 seconds. This is because in that location where that cloud is actually hanging above, the sun is at a different position. The sun disk. The light is coming from a different angular direction. And in that location, the cloud will be lit up from the other direction, which is
how would that angle
the sunset
be
is always one direction. If you go there, then the sun will, in relation to you, rise.
Like I was saying about the sticks before, Arwen, how would that angle be so much different that it would cause that?
I don't know. It follows a specific path. The daylight direction follows a specific path in relation to every location on the Earth. And at the epicenter of that direction, in each location, the apparent sun disk hologram is seen.
Arwen, what do you define as an epicenter?
the daylight direction at the epicenter.
Of which
What's
the
an
sun is.
epicenter
The location.
you?
The light is going to be directing in one specific direction in that location. So the
Yes.
exact point of
and what
origination
is the
of each
epicenter?
point in relation to the observer, that is where the sun disk will be at the edge of vision.
So the
limits,
So the
which is below.
epicenter in your mind could be on a disk?
It can be anywhere on any shape.
Well, no, it can't be, because if
Completely
it's in the
separate.
middle of a disk and it's
The only
100
reference
feet
frame is the
higher on a
location
disk,
of
then
the
it's going to be
Earth
different.
It can be on any shape, concave, tube,
If
ball, flat of any shape, can be on any shape.
that epicenter is measured from the same point on every other observable thing anywhere, that would have to be the case?
No, it's impossible. There's only one direction on one spot. Every direction is different over the entire Earth.
Owen, think about
There's
what
no
you're
direction
saying.
exactly the same.
You're in the southern hemisphere, bro.
Yeah. Well, the sun will not come from the same direction as somewhere in the
You see
northern
different
hemisphere.
stars. You see the
Yeah.
moon upside down.
It's all the same. They
How
Sorry,
is
just
that
overheard
all
that.
the
Sorry,
same?
sorry to interrupt,
Have
guys. Can I
angular
just
path.
sorry to interrupt. So you said southern
Sorry, Nathan. Sorry.
southern hemisphere. So you are automatically assuming that you are seeing those stars on a sphere. You understand, Jazz?
No, Nathan. It doesn't matter what I'm assuming.
Yeah, it does.
I'm assuming right now that we're on a flat Earth.
No, you're not. You just said hemisphere. I go to the southern
Okay,
hemisphere and I see
Flattysphere.
different stars. Right, well, in your
Flattysphere.
mind,
In the
you've travelled
south,
around a
we-
ball, haven't you,
No,
Jazz?
Nathan,
Because you're travelling
just say
around
in
a
the
ball
I'm on a
to the southern
flattysphere.
hemisphere.
How do
You don't
we
want to
see
hear it. Now you're talking.
Opposite.
I've only sat down. I've been a part of this conversation for about 30 seconds. But you don't want to hear it.
And you can't listen to what you just
Yeah,
asked me.
I listened to the conversation in the background. I've been a part of the conversation for about 30 seconds. I'm trying to explain my point to
Exactly.
you. And you have
Just
told
say
me
south of the
I'm
equator.
assuming that I'm on a plane. You're not. What you're actually
So
doing
am I.
is saying the
That's
words
why I asked the question.
hemisphere. But because you're ignorant and dumb, you want to talk all over me and not listen to it. You want to go, nah, 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 nah. While I point out that you are basing your religious faith on a presupposition that when you travel, you're travelling on a sphere. So you already know that when you travel across the lands, you're already going around a sphere. Then you look up and see different stars. So you go, I see different stars because I've just travelled on a sphere. How the hell do you know what you've just travelled on? You're making a presupposition. The way I know you're
Nathan.
making a presupposition, I'm nearly there, Jazz, you impatient prick. I'm nearly there, mate.
You're an impatient
Nearly.
prick. You can't hold a
Nearly, you're
conversation,
just
but carry on.
ignorant. You're nearly there, you're just dumb. Right? If you could just shut your trap long enough to listen to an explanation, you might learn something. I know you've made a presupposition.
Finally, I could get on. You guys are like always packed every time. What's up, guys?
So,
carry
I
on,
know
Nathan.
you've made a presupposition because you used the word hemisphere, Jazz.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, it's a presupposition, not great, a presupposition.
Can I talk?
So
now?
just say south of the equator. All right.
Am I able to
That
talk
that
now?
has no presupposition.
Are you guys live?
No. Not yet. Nathan, can you check your Skype? I sent you a message. An image.
Arwen, okay, I
Arwen,
should
you're
have said
the
it
sun.
south of the equator.
I'm just doing stuff,
terribly
sorry, I'm feeding my
about
kid
that.
and stuff. I will look when I'm back sat down and I'm doing show stuff.
I'm gonna pipe in as a sixth grader and just I'm open to being corrected if my concept is incorrect. I'm gonna try to answer Jazz. In my mind, Jazz.
Just hang on, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Who was it that I was just talking to? Anthony or Ranty? You or whatever the frick the word you called,
Having trouble with words.
presupposed that the Earth's flat. So you're arguing against me in the same deposition. So
No, it's not a
all things
presupposition.
aside,
How?
All things aside.
Let him
Where?
finish.
All
Where
things
do
aside.
where
Let him
do
finish.
they
Let him
presuppose?
finish. Let him get to the end of his sentence.
Just stop it. All things supposed, there's two models that we're arguing against. One's right and one's wrong.
No, there's more than one.
A logical fallacy.
More-
Another logical fallacy.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, right, so Jazz.
No models.
Now you
No
finished.
models that
I
Hang
detected an end to the sentence. Am I okay to now school you, or will you constantly interrupt me?
no, because I'm about to school you, Nathan. So if
You'd
it's
finished.
right,
I assumed that was the
Oh,
end
no,
of your
fuck it.
sentence. I
I
stopped
mean,
Darwin
sorry,
interrupting you.
bugger it.
I've asked if I
Go
can
ahead.
get some silent air just to school you. Yeah, and you've
Yeah,
not
go
let me
ahead.
have
Go
it.
ahead.
Excellent. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you. So, you state that we have a presupposition of flatness. Incorrect. We look and we see. Then there is no explanation required. You look across a long way and see something, you see it because it's there, Jazz. Now, the converse of that is you look across the way, see something, and say, because of my presupposition that it's a sphere, I don't really see the building. It's actually a mirage. It's an observed phenomena. It's something we should study and do science on because it shouldn't be there. And why shouldn't it be there? Because a model says it shouldn't be there when you presuppose that model is... He couldn't quite do it. But when you
I'm not
presuppose...
sure where I said that.
Yeah, I
but
knew you
carry on.
couldn't keep your mouth shut for the full explanation. That's because you're a retard. You're thick and ignorant, Jazz. If you want to know why you don't get this, this is why. Because most of you are ignorant. You can't shut your mouths long enough to listen to a simple explanation about a presupposition that you have and we do not.
I'll remember most of you.
Still
Keep
not there,
going.
Jazz. Still not there. Ignorant prick. So, Jazz, contain yourself until I finish like I did with you. I even shut people up for you. Do you understand what I did for you, you ignorant prick? I shut Arwen up for you so you could get to the end of your statement. Now you'll do the same
I
for
did.
me.
And
now
you're
you
gonna go
will
on
do
and
the
you're gonna
same
shut
for
me
me,
down as
you
soon as you're
ignorant
finished.
prick.
'Cause
So,
you're
Jazz,
amazing.
you ignorant prick. I will explain it one more time. I look, I see, no explanation required. No presupposition required. I see a building. It's called a concrete noun, not a phenomena. You see the same building and it becomes a phenomena because you have a presupposition. I knew he couldn't do it. I knew it. Shut your mouth, you dumb prick. You have a presupposition that it's a sphere, therefore you see an observed phenomena. You must explain why you just see something, Jazz. That's because you have a presupposition. I just see things. No explanation required whatsoever. No presupposition.
Nathan.
I just open my eyes and see it. Okay, Jazz?
Nathan, do you not have a presupposition that you see a flat world? Because you're hell-bent on believing it. And I don't cause any
It's like you
offense.
don't
Jazz,
understand
seriously?
what he just said it to you.
Jazz, seriously.
He just gave you the answer and you asked your question again as if he didn't answer your question.
It's flat by default.
He sees something in front of him. Okay? If he's standing in front of it at 10 feet and he moves back a mile and he moves back 10 miles and he still sees it, he just sees it. It's there.
Okay, that's great. Whoever was just talking then, can we talk about
Yeah,
just for a
you say
second?
okay, Jazz,
No,
but
not
you
until you can
believe
see, Jazz.
it's being loomed up behind the curve.
So
That's the
I'd
problem.
just like a concession before we go live. Jazz, would you concede now?
Can we
I
just
knew I'd
talk
get
about
3 breaths
one
out before
thing
this
that our
complete
eyes...
Mongol talks all over me because he's ignorant. That's why he asked his question again, because he couldn't contain himself long enough. He should listen, but he talks, just like ignorant people do. When they should be listening, they start talking. All they're concerned about is the next words off their lips. They don't know how to listen. That's what ignorant people do, Jazz. That is you, a typical globehead.
No, that's
you, not your cue to
actually,
talk.
Nathan,
That was my
Carry on.
pre-qualifier for you being ignorant. I've made my qualifier. Now I'm going to try and get my concession out of you. That was the point in doing this. You're just too ignorant to actually shut up long enough. So, you asserted that I have a presupposition, and it's been detailed, you probably didn't listen, that I don't. You do. Do you concede that we do not have to presuppose anything to see stuff that's there?
I'm gonna say yes or no. What one's the right answer?
I'll tell you the answer. You're a retard. That's the answer, Jazz. You are thick. So you should go away from this feeling ashamed. Go away knowing that you have represented your fellow globeheads badly. Go away from it with the acute understanding that this problem here is you and your stupidity. Okay, Jazz? That's what you can take away from this.
Oh, and you're going to mute me? You're going to ban me?
Jazz, you really are kind of stupid, man.
Oh, I'll have a yarn to you. Let's go.
I was trying to have. I was
Go
trying to have
the AA and stop drinking and joining this hangout because you're a mess.
I mean, seriously, man. I'm not trying to insult you, but it's like you can't even have. You can't have a conversation. You can't. You can't even have a conversation.
Okay.
I'm willing to try, Jazz. You ready? Here you go. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. I see an object 10 miles away. I see a building 10 miles away. I just see it. Do you understand? Yeah. Do you understand that I do not need to presuppose anything? I just see it. Do you understand that?
Yeah, how much do you see the whole thing?
Now we're going to talk about a different variable. That's not the point.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Do you see the whole thing?
I do not see the whole thing. Clearly.
Holy. Let's keep going.
Diffraction.
Okay. What's your next question, Jazz? What's your next question now?
I'm trying to work out who I'm talking to. Who am I talking
Travis,
to?
You're talking to Mona Lisa. Travis.
Oh, Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
Next step is Eric.
What's your next question, Jazz?
My next question, there.
Okay, you know what? No, I'm not going to let you get away. You can ask your next question if you just give me the answer again. I don't need to have a presupposition. I just see it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand that, but you can't see the whole thing.
That's not what I was saying.
That?
Yeah, but see, I didn't make that qualification. I just said
but that's what curvature is, so you understand that you don't see the whole thing.
What do you mean by the whole thing? What do you mean by the whole thing?
If you can't see the whole building, then you're going up against curvature.
Sorry, have you watched the video about Aries diffraction that I mentioned while you were on the show? It's a yes or no answer.
That means
Jazz.
nothing, Nathan.
Sorry, you've just declared that based on your presupposition that you're on a sphere, any
I
obstruction...
haven't declared...
Yeah, that was half a breath. Ignorant prick. So...
I haven't declared...
Try to contain yourself while I speak, Jazz. You are already at the point where I am slowing down my speech because I consider you stupid. So, attempt to not respond like you are doing now until I have finished, Jazz. This is a question. Can you cope with listening for a few more seconds than your brain takes to come up with a response to one part of what I'm saying? Is that a possibility?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Don't swear.
We're not on air.
Doesn't matter. I don't want him swearing. My kid's in the next room. Okay? Just don't swear.
Sorry, absolutely.
Right. So, Jazz, I started by pointing out that you have just declared that based on your presupposition that you live on a sphere, any obstruction you see as we back away from a building must be curvature. And my question to you was, have you looked at the video... What? Who was that?
Sorry, that was me.
course it was, Jazz. That was a semi-rhetorical question. I knew it was you. I can see your level bouncing up and down. I just wanted you to declare it. Yeah?
I know,
you are
because you
ignorant,
asked a
Jazz.
rhetorical
Again,
question.
90% through my point, now you're talking. So... I'll wait.
No, go ahead.
You don't need to give me permission, Jazz.
I
Just
know
need to
it's
shut your
chance.
mouth long enough. Right. So as you back away from the building, the further back you get, it's not necessary to assert that it's curvature. That's based on a presupposition of curvature. However, there is a detailed explanation for Aries diffraction in the link below the video, as detailed on the show you were just on. Literally 15 minutes ago, number 427. So, have you watched that video on Aries diffraction?
Yes, I have, and the way you portray it is completely false.
I didn't portray it anyway. It was a
about it.
video with Zachary Sabala. So that indicates to me that you think I've presented something in that video, Jazz.
Well...
Was that a lie then, Jazz? Do you want to come clean and tell me that you have... Sorry, back in a sec. Have you watched it?
No, I'm not saying that's a lie at all.
You haven't watched it. So you haven't watched the video and you say you watched it?
Jose, your profile looks kind of creepy, man.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
All right, can I get back?
Looks good,
Can I
looks
get back
good.
to my? Can I get back to my analysis of the globe and the light underneath the clouds, as far as I understand it?
You're fucking nuts, man.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, SX, Sleeping Warrior, Jose, oh, someone who dropped Isaiah, Chocolate Saying, Arwin, and Apollo 16. Good to have you all.
Hey,
Morning.
Yo. Good morning.
Yo.
And we've just
Good
been joined
morning.
by Ranty Flat Earth.
Howdy.
Happy days.
Howdy.
Nathan, we do have a development on the Greater Sapien front.
Yes, I saw the new image you posted. Is that what you're talking about?
We got a ticket number.
Ticket number? No, I'm not sure we've got a ticket
I'm jumping
number.
the
We've
gun.
got
What's the update? Just tell us.
Simon Dan has butted in on this little discussion that I've been having with Greater Sapien. He's basically, yeah, Simon Dan. He is taking the side of Greater Sapien, saying that you shouldn't have to display the proof of purchasing the ticket.
Yeah, you should.
He has wait a moment and we'll get to the article. So this happened, I think, a few hours ago, Creator Sapient made an update on his Kickstarter post where he uploaded screenshots of how do you call it? He uploaded screenshots of an email conversation with the ticket provider. So he was contacted by the ticket provider, and they are looking into refunds and that kind of stuff. So I don't see why he would get an email from this ticket provider if he didn't buy the ticket. I can post a link in the chat if you want.
Or if you can screen share it. You're obviously on a proper PC, so if you can screen share it, that'd be brilliant.
Hang on, so what's your point? Is your point that he did get a ticket, or is your point that it doesn't matter?
Well, let's look at it first and dissect it after.
It just helps if he tells us the context of what he's telling us.
I think this is a recent post. Wait. Is that coming? Is this screen sharing nicely? Is it readable?
We could do with being a bit bigger if you can.
Zoom in, yeah. Exactly.
Here we go. Thank you for your email. We are
why is he hiding all the information?
Why would they say we are the ticketing provider? He's contacting them about tickets, isn't he? Anyway, of the event Polar Explorer, and we have informed this event might be fraudulent. They're the ticket provider. Wouldn't they know if it was or wasn't fraudulent?
Well, it's still this is a reason. Well, the problem is that nobody can contact the owner of the how do you call it, the event. So it's still well, everything starts with an investigation, doesn't it? So they just aren't sure about it yet. They are still asking the employees and people that worked with this.
Has this come from Greater Sapien?
Yes, this is an.
So this proves nothing.
No, nothing. What we need is the ticket number. So essentially, Fepe Perth has got in touch with what he is calling the administrators. I think that was the terminology he used, and dug into who has bought a ticket. Obviously, they're not giving him out personal information, but he said, has this person been supplied a ticket? They've gone through the information. It would seem, according to Fepe Perth, that they have not. So he's then gone back to him and said, look, they're all allocated by ticket number. So if you can give me your ticket number, I can just check where the administrative error has occurred. And that's it. So that's what we need. Ticket number. Simple. If he's bought a ticket, he'll have a ticket number. Easy.
Well, why would the ticket company contact him about this if he never bought a ticket?
Who cares? If he's got a ticket, he can just show a ticket number, can't he?
Hang on a minute.
Yes.
You're assuming that the email means that he had a ticket?
Yes. I don't see why they would contact him if that was not the case.
No, you listen to what I say.
That.
You're assuming that the email means that he got a ticket.
I agreed.
Could I see what he wrote? Would that be? Could you leave that up for a minute? Because I want to read what he said.
I've not got it on screen because, frankly, I'm not that interested in what he said. The email that he claims comes from the provider I was interested in. But
yeah, that's my point. How do we know that this is actually coming from where he's telling us it's coming from?
Precisely.
It could just be a set-up email address that any of us can do that's put up a header and a footer to make it look like it's legit and then passed off. It's not that hard to do that.
No, but what is
we
hard
need to
do...
validate and verify this evidence as credible.
Well, the point is there's a third party not associated with the company that's supplying the tickets, not associated with Greater Sapien, who is in the know in terms of the administration process after the fact when it's been exposed as a fraud.
Sorry.
So based on the fact that somebody is in touch with the people administering this PR disaster for the Globe, he has just said the information I require to just verify you have bought a ticket is the ticket number. Now, I've asked him for it, and so has Fepe Perth, and why wouldn't he just give us the ticket number? If there's any suspicion whatsoever, you dig out your ticket, go, there you go, there's the ticket number. Obviously, I spent $20,000 on it. There's the ticket number.
Alternatively, show the bank statement of the transaction going out the account.
I do remember... Wait, I will first... Here you can see the email, and it does look like a real email.
Yeah, it looks that way. Does that make it true though?
Well, everything is possible, so
No.
not
This
necessarily.
is potentially verifiable information, right? We can verify that the email that this has come from is legit. So where's the email address?
It's been redacted.
Right.
It's been redacted.
Right here.
Sorry, I thought it
So
was
the email-
redacted. Is it not blurred out?
No.
Where is it?
Billing at xingevents.com. Right, so let's go to that xingevents.com.
Yeah, I've just got it up. It looks
Website.
like it's legit.
So then just, Ranty, go and see the registered keeper of that particular that website.
I've already done it. The who is it's under privacy, so we can't find out who owns it. But it was registered in 2013.
Right, so that doesn't indicate, that doesn't make me think that it's potentially dodgy, so it may be legit. Still, it's verifiable. We can verify that this event, so this company is verifiable. We can check to see whether this is legit.
Yeah, well, that's what Feppy Perth is doing, isn't it?
But yeah, it's back to the same conclusion. Just need a ticket number. If he's bought a ticket, he'll have a ticket number. There's no harm whatsoever in showing a ticket number for a ticket that's not going to ever be used. It's, you know, it's a part of an investment that a lot of people have made in him, and you just want to verify that it's real. That's it. Simple.
The other way to look at it is look at the xingevents.com website for the registered company details of the company, of the territory it's in. Presumably it's in America somewhere. They normally register proper companies rather than sole traders in the same way that the UK does. To look up its official details for its registered address and stuff. Okay, but somebody in America would know how to do it. There'll be a register somewhere and see whether or not it's a legit company in terms of etc. That's part of the due diligence that could be applied.
IFTH says, why should he share that information with you? Well, he doesn't have to. He can do whatever he likes, and we'll point out what he's doing and how we feel about it. That's our privilege. So, no, he doesn't have to do anything. Nobody's twisting his arm to do anything. He's not in here tied to a chair being beaten for the information. We are merely asking for his ticket number because Fepe Perth has been in touch with the administrators of this disaster for the globe. No pole-to-pole flight. Why not? Really? Why would you want to sham that particular event, I wonder? Is it because the Earth is not a sphere? Well, that would be speculation now. And we can only speculate about Greater Sapien until he gives us a ticket number.
So, Ranty, people donated money for UP1000, and you say, all right, it's bought, it's already ordered online, and I will let you know 1 month, 2 months pass, and no word of the P1000. And they say, we asked Ranty, what's up with the P1000? Oh, I'll get it soon. And you never show evidence you bought it. You never show a ticket and order number, nothing. And next year, people still asking you for the P1000, you just ignore it. You say, yeah, it just didn't happen. Sorry, guys. Are you going to show evidence? Of course you are, you know, just to make people happy, like something is in the progress, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, this guy is Greater Sapien. He's messaged Zing, right? He hasn't given any information in that email from what I can see. Essentially, he's just saying that he's bought a ticket. He's not given any details as to what the ticket number was, etc., etc. So he could have just done that, right? And just to show that he's actually sent an email. Doesn't prove that he actually has a ticket.
I do remember seeing a picture of a bank transaction, but I think I am confusing memories, so I might be incorrect about that. I can't find it, so maybe it was in a. I think it was in a video where he talked about I got the money and I just bought the ticket. I think it's in one of those videos, his update videos.
In the last few days, quite a few people have jumped to conclusions about me. Now, as a result, I leave my mic open a little bit longer so you can hear some of the background noises. But lots of people jumped to conclusions about myself. Now, here we are with a situation where there's potential $20,000 fraud. Potential. I'm not alleging anything. But that's the potential. Now, you're on the show defending him, based on circumstantial emails he has provided you. IFTH is in the chat defending him, and Simon Dan is defending him. So my question is, why would it be the case that people jump to conclusions about me in the very negative, and yet this guy, who presumably none of you have met, none of you can actually vouch for, is getting the defence of the entire globe side of the flat earth debate argument, which he is in? I just wonder why that would be. Why wouldn't you automatically assume the worst about Greater Sapien?
it's the same reason why all of the things that get us accused against us get ignored on the baller side. For example, GeoStreamer doesn't get any flack from any of the ballers because Audio Guy has come up with some ridiculously remote explanation for why it might be some other explanation. And it just seems to be accepted. Oh, well, plausible deniability. There's not going to be any challenge to GeoStreamer again by any of the ballers. But if it was me or you that was doing that, they would be hung, drawn, quartering us. We would be lynched by the mob. So it's just another example of one rule for them and a different rule for us.
I think more than anything, it's just the fact that his responses are very, I don't need to tell you this.
Don't mind mirroring some of the sentiments I've had, right? IFTH says, I'm not defending him, I am attacking you. Really? That's interesting. Because unless you are a donor, that is none of your business. Really? The response I got was, you've made it our business, you've put it into a video. In other words, somehow my daughter becomes people's business if she decides to come in on an intro or an outro because she's free to do what she likes. But apparently this guy's publication of taking $20,000 off the public, that's not our business even though he's published it. Why the double standards, IFTH?
Hypocrite.
Yeah, hypocrite, IFTH.
Let's be honest. What he's got with that money, right? It's money that's held on trust by him for one particular purpose, right? We can all agree that that money should be spent on this expedition. 20 grand going out of his account to that company for a ticket. That's what he needs to show because it's trust money. Not because it's not his money, but because it's somebody else's money. It's not about him. It's about the people that that money represents.
Right. We've got every right to ask. He has, as IFTA points out, have every right to say no. But that looks very suspicious when he's dealing with £20,000 of the public's money that's been donated to him specifically for a ticket, and all we're asking for is the number on the front of it, and it's not even going to be any potential of it causing problems as it's a fake flight.
So let me just check. Apollo, what was your purpose for showing the email? Are you defending him or are you updating us with information?
Just updating you. Because somebody was... Well, yeah, just updating you, yeah.
Because it seems that there are two sets of rules in play. There are the rules that are the ballers, which seems to be lots of, and those that apply very narrow, precise.
Start again. Start again. You broke up for all of that. There's two rules for the ballers. Then you broke up.
Are you on the internet on your phone? It's because somebody's using the phone. I have limited bandwidth.
Right, you're clear enough now. If you can just say the two different sets of rules that are in play.
There's two rules in play. The rule against the ballers is very broad, wide, lots of discretion, lots of wiggle room. But the same set of rules that are applied against us are very narrow, precise, concise. And if we make a mistake along the way, oh my God, they'll come back and bite us, and it'll be the biggest mistake in the whole wide world. I mean, God forbid if we were to tell a lie and deliberately deceive somebody, it would never be the end of it. You get a citation wrong, like I did on the pendulum video or the Foucault's pendulum, and that's treated as though it's like I've killed somebody. Yet a conspiracy with GeoStreamer, Sean Hufford, and Soundly trying to hide the fact that GeoStreamer was having a 2-on-1 hangout when it should have been a 1-on-1. Completely ignored. Nobody batters an eyelid. It's just hypocrisy. And they're all scum, all of them.
All of them?
Well, there's one particular circle with certain people in it, and all of them in that circle are scum. So Soundly, Sean, Sly Sparkane, GeoStreamer, Red's Rhetoric, all of that circle are scumbags, dishonest, mislead people. They are liars. They will literally cover. I mean, look at Sean, audio guy, but can't distinguish what microphone it goes through. Tells everybody it came from my system through my microphone, and it just so happens to sound like a conversation with GeoStreamer and Soundly. I mean, the chances of that are virtually zero. I wouldn't never listen to a hangout whilst I'm having a one-to-one, in the same way that GeoStreamer would never listen to a hangout whilst he's having a one-to-one. Yet that tiny little possibility of it could be true is therefore plausible deniability on their accounts. But when we give reasons for what really goes on, they're just ignored and we're called liars straight away. Totally ridiculous levels of acceptance from the ballers, dishonesty and hypocrisy. It's just ridiculous. They're all scum.
So, IFTH, there's a site called Social Blade. If you would like to know my earnings for this channel, type the name of the channel into Social Blade and you can look for yourself. Help yourself to the information. So, no choice for me. You can go and have a look at what I earn. That's nice for you, isn't it? So, now you found out the answer to your question. Can we see the ticket number for Great Sapien? Maybe Apollo will ask him. You know, he's obviously keen to let us know that he's emailed and that seems to indicate he's got a ticket. Well, we can confirm it, Apollo. Just go and ask him for the ticket number. Is that a possibility that you could just give him a little nudge and say, can I have the ticket number?
Well, what I think's more telling is this Simon Dan jumping to his defence. It's essentially the same as, imagine if I didn't come forth with the P1000, right? And I didn't show any evidence that I'd actually bought the P1000, even though I already showed you the receipts for it. So let's suppose there's no evidence forthcoming. I've got the money off people that donated for the P1000, and then you, Nathan, are defending me, right? So then you would be defending me, saying he doesn't have to prove anything, he doesn't have to do anything. That's the same sort of scam that's going on with these guys. And why would they be backing? Why would he be saying you don't have to provide evidence? I don't understand why Simon Dan would think that taking £20,000 off people, right, and not following through and showing them where that money's gone. I don't see why that is acceptable to him.
So I've looked through all his videos because I did remember him showing something. So I'm showing it on my screen now. A cropped screenshot of, it's a video by the way, a cropped screenshot of a page confirming, oops, he got a ticket. Of course this can be faked, but you know, I just want to provide as much information as I can find. So here you guys go.
Sure, so he's happy to publicise the fact that he's got a ticket. Well, we just want to see the ticket number, something specific about the ticket.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Fepe Perth said that Gerald Williams is not on the list of people that are being administered by the administrators.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So what I'm saying is, if this is supposed to be proof of a ticket or in some way, then either Fepe Perth has got it wrong, or this is not true. It's one or the other.
Well, the way to put that to rest is with the ticket number. So they've said to him, well, we've got the ticket numbers of all the people who've paid for a ticket. So if there's been an administrative mistake, i.e. somebody's been logged with the wrong name, we can find that administrative mistake with the ticket number.
Yes.
Yeah, but hang on a sec. Let's say there was a mistake where Gerald Williams, for whatever reason, appeared as ticket number. I don't know, let's just say he did have a ticket and it was 77. And then he told us it was 77. 77, it said Joe Blogs. We would all instantly say that he's a liar, and then you'd have to prove that there was an administrative mistake. But instantly, it's going to make him look bad, isn't it? So he's never going to reveal a ticket number if he hasn't actually got one, or if there is an admin error. So he's never going to release it either way.
Why? If he's got a ticket and it's got a ticket number, let's just assume the best. That's Fepe Perth's attitude towards this. Let's not accuse him of scamming people. Let's assume he has got a ticket. And therefore, it's easy for just him to say it's 007938455.
No, I think you should do it the other way. I think we should assume he's not got a ticket until he proves that he does.
Well, either way, Fepe Perth has taken the I'm on your side, mate. You know, I'm just trying to help your subs get their money back. And I'm in touch with the administrators. They just say they need a ticket number. Just give it me and we can get this all hopefully sorted out and maybe get your donators their money back. That's his attitude. And personally, it's not the attitude I'd take. I'd be much more like you, but having seen it, you think, well, that's far more diplomatic.
I think it's really telling that Simon Dan's got involved and defending it, because it's like...
You broke up.
Yeah, you broke up, Anthony.
Hey, Nathan, you might remember these.
Because if something was wrong...
What are you showing us? Sorry.
You might remember
these.
these.
Yeah, I remember zip drives.
Yeah, awesome technology.
Floppy disks.
Nah, that's a zip drive. It's not a floppy drive.
Oh, it's a disk, not a drive.
Yeah.
I've got a drive too, of course. Connect.
Stick.
But it's not a floppy disk, is my point. It's a zip drive. Do you remember tape streaming tapes?
Yeah, I've got a few of those. Yeah.
My folks used to back up all the data for their database each night on a tape streamer tape. This is back in the 80s. And every night you'd sit and you'd listen to this, you know, maybe 12 kilohertz whine from this. It wasn't analog. I'm pretty sure it was obviously digital. It's taking digital data onto it, but it's an analog cassette. You know, it's a piece of tape, so it's whirring like as it streams all this data off the main hard drive onto this tape streamer each night. Takes about half an hour. Today, you drag and drop your file across from one drive to the other, and if it takes more than 15 seconds, you're cursing the hard drive for not being fast enough.
So you think those tape streamers were slow? Wait till you see this computer tape.
Oh, here we go. Is this off a mainframe? Bet this is a mainframe. Yes, it is. So this is a mainframe reel. Look at that. You can imagine that in some, 70s movie, spinning on a massive beige-coloured machine, or like an entire room full of boxes. Reel-to-reel computers.
Yes.
Is that a NASA tape?
Yeah, he showed us.
Yeah, it
this.
is.
I can't remember which show number it was, but we got to see the data on it. It was cool, very cool. People in the chat were like, "This is boring." I'm like, "You're joking?" A NASA cassette, and we're getting access to the data that they've apparently used in space faking. Wonderful, love it. Obviously, Apollo has a different attitude.
Well, I think it's mostly interesting, not just to Globers, but also to Flat Earthers, because I think, all data you get from NASA has at one point been searched through and has been looked at before public consumption. Everything you see normally is meant for public consumption. The photos, the video, the documents, but these tapes were never meant for public. They were never meant to be seen outside of NASA.
Right, they are raw. It's raw. It's a raw recording.
Raw and rare, I think, is the point.
No, but raw recording.
Yes, but rare. You're not likely to get to see this information, I think, is his point.
Yes, it was never meant to be seen outside of NASA. That's the interesting thing about it.
Agreed, absolutely. Well, I was fascinated when you gave us the demonstration and told us the process, painstaking that it sounded, to get the information off it in the first place. And you even showed us the tracks, under microscopic, under magnification. Just cool. I love all that stuff. I'm a total geek in that regard. I love it.
Yeah. I will be on 24, on the 20, how do you say it? I will be on the non-sequitur show in a few days. So I've talked a bit with Kyle, and everything is going to be great. I've got a great list of things I want to talk about. So everything has been prepared already.
John Watson, that was my conclusion as well. Not that we're at liberty to make conclusions. It's so limited in terms of what the data is. You cannot draw any conclusions from it. It's just an interesting folly. But for me, a very interesting folly. I really like that kind of stuff. But that was what I speculated. So John Watson said simulation tapes. And I was like, well, you can't conclude that. But I certainly speculated exactly that when they were shown. They're running some light bulbs on a control desk or something like that. But anyway, that's pure speculation. I've no idea what it is. Nobody does at this stage. We're not got an NASA guy who used them from the 60s or 70s saying, this is what it did. This is what it's giving you. And even if we did, we wouldn't know if it was true.
Exactly.
So I know we've talked a lot about Greater Sapien in the last couple of shows, but on this show we haven't actually, for people who might be green to this show or not seen it before, have any relevance to why we're talking about Great Sapien, because of some scam. It just sounds like we're just talking about some gossip about some scam. But he was going to do a pole-to-bowl flight, and that's what the $20,000 ticket was for. And we, or Math Powerland originally asserted that that is the true way to prove sphericity of the Earth, is to take a pole-to-pole journey. You know, you go in opposite directions, 2 teams, you meet in the middle. If you've both gone round a sphere, then what's the big deal? So this flight, although not exactly what Math Powerland detailed, was definitely akin to his idea of proving it with a pole-to-pole journey. Jaren of Jarenism and Globebusters has also covered this on many times, tracking some of the journeys of previous quote-unquote pole-to-pole journeys, and they do not go pole-to-pole. Absolutely not. So for yet another non-pole-to-pole, pole-to-pole flight to fall apart at the seams is nothing but a win for flat earthers, because it's just yet another thing we're asking for that cannot be provided. And the reason is simple: we're not living on a globe. You cannot do that. If you could, it would be done. We'd have it, but we don't.
And Nathan, who was gonna do that trip? It was like an outside company or something like that.
The details is what we've been looking at just so on some of the emails back and forth between the now, I presume, defunct company and the administrators.
Because my question will be like, if that trip got canceled, are they gonna start questioning why got canceled or stuff like that, or are they just gonna let it go by, you know?
Oh, well, the Globers will absolutely give it the benefit of the doubt, blame it all on the company and say it's nothing to do with the Earth not being spherical, that they couldn't go on that trip pole to pole. It's just, you know, it's this other problem. We, on the other hand, as flat earthers, will look at it and go, like we are now, yeah, the reason they can't do it is because it's not a globe. If it was, you would. You didn't, you can't.
Yeah, they're not gonna get mad about it. Gonna come up with excuses for it not happening. That's it.
Yeah, like Anthony said, the leeway is wide and far for the globe side of this argument. For us, very, very, very narrow and strict. Well, not anymore. Not since we've started asking for scientific evidence of things. Now we're the ones giving them a good slapping.
I predict that eventually.
How big a slap did you give him, Dave?
What?
How big a slap were you giving him, Dave? Is he there?
I don't know. But
sorry, were you talking to me? I went in the other room.
I said, how big a slap are you giving them?
A massive bitch slap to the face.
But yeah, I predict that in the near future they will just stop doing it, because we are revealing them as scammers.
Did
and
they
then
give
they'll
a
just
reason?
stop doing it. They'll no longer do it, and then we want to test this stuff. Well, too bad. There's no commercial flight that does it. That's what it's going to result in eventually.
Did they give a reason for canceling it? Or they just canceled it?
They can no longer contact the owner of the guy that made everything possible. Like the head of the
they can no longer contact him, like he disappeared.
Yes, he I think it was
they took him out.
No, yes, he doesn't respond to anybody.
That's a scam.
That's not really too fishy.
Sign of a scammer.
Yeah, that's not too fishy. It's not too obvious. Kidding me? That's so sad. And people donated 20,000 to this guy for real?
Not to, well, we're crossing purposes now. I don't want to. Let's not muddy the waters between Greater Sapien and the pole-to-pole trip itself.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, they really donated 20,000 to Greater Sapien for a ticket on this flight.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the big scheme of things, it's not that much if he was going to be on a flight that could prove the sphericity of the Earth. You know, I mean, essentially, they pay that, and then we can all go home. We can forget about flat Earth then, can't we?
I mean, first off, just the fact that it's 20,000 just for a flight. I mean, that's insane. And then with all the parameters that came with it, like you couldn't take scientific equipment or anything. Like what? And then they cancel it.
Yeah,
because the guy just disappeared.
Happen. It can never happen. This trip could never happen.
Of course it couldn't. But that's just, I mean, wasn't the whole purpose to prove that it could, and then they just canceled it? Like,
imagine if we do that. Imagine just that, like if we say we're gonna do a trip to the pole and around and everything, and then we just cancel, are they gonna let it go by like that?
It would be a wrap for us. It would just be as simple as that. Like we would be crucified for that.
I do. Well, do you think the combined flat Earth community has enough budget to get a expedition like that started?
No evidence.
For that,
It's
you
gonna
need
take a
people
worldwide,
that.
thing.
For that, you need people, honest people, and like these people, they're dishonest.
No,
I'm gonna talk by myself here. There's no flat Earth community. There's just people like me, normal people looking for truth.
No,
Okay.
the main problem is it shouldn't be flat earthers that have to pay for it. It should be state funded. It really should be.
Well, I don't know. I think there is a community in flat Earth for sure. I do think there is a community. It's just too divided.
Yeah, and good luck with the state. They're obviously in on this, so they're not going to sponsor something like that.
It's not divided. It's just that we don't want to fit in one model because we don't know things. We don't claim to things that we cannot tell if it's flat, if it's enclosed, if it's large. I don't know. That's why we have different opinions, but we're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what?
We don't believe we live on a spinning magical water ball. That's the main point. I think once we get past that point, everything else we can work the details out. But we got to get to the consensus that we don't live on a ball with water sticking to it, people walking around upside down, and planes flying upside down and stuff. That's not happening.
Yeah, we don't live in a ball the size they told us. It might be a sphere, who knows, but it might be 10 times bigger,
You know what? I do think all the flat earthers combined will have enough money to get such an expedition going. And I will say right now that if there is something like a Kickstarter or something, I will donate $100 to it.
But why should flat earthers have to pay so much money for it?
Well, I mean,
because we're the ones that want to do it.
Exactly.
But the reason.
Yeah, but it's not just paying for it. It's will they allow it to happen?
Okay,
they're gonna try to stop some. If it gets too serious, they're gonna try to stop it.
That's one thing, and the other one is like you need like people that are on schools, like teachers and stuff, to agree to join us, and because if not, they're just gonna argue stuff. Like they're gonna argue anything, make excuses, and they're gonna try to invalidate the trip. So you need like peer review people to join the cause and
because to me,
I disagree. It just needs to be well recorded. And
to me, this was one of two things.
Look what happened to this guy who did the live. They keep saying things about him, and he did it live, and they still don't believe it. So I don't know.
If you do it live, then you do it live, and then what you're doing is the thing that it is about, and whatever the person may be, however he may be, no matter what he's doing, and that's live. So that's proof that it is real. So yeah, live streaming.
Yeah,
that's part of my plan. It just like a big boat expedition could be very elaborate, but with constant live streams. And if we're even gonna exit the known world, possibly, then leave buoys behind. Buoys with relays that can continuate the live stream. And we have to technically figure that one out ourselves. So we have to basically make,
well, then won't
video
work
streaming relays.
If a ship passes your if a ship passes by the road that your ship took, then it will destroy the line. So, you don't own the entire ocean. At some point, some ships are going to cross the line that you laid. And Have you ever seen one of those ships that make the submarine cables? They are very specialized, huge machines. I don't think it's something like this throwing out the line every once in a while. It's very specialized, complicated, and will only make it more expensive. So I think just wireless communication is the best and most inexpensive way.
I think the flat Earth is going to be a multi-generational discovery where it's going to require our kids to be kind of sleeper cells where they have their jobs, everyday jobs. Some of our kids are smarter than others, and they're just going to have the opportunity to do things like go to the Antarctic and just in their minds know something is up, and just be accepted by society. And the further we get along into the future, the more it will be accepted and eventually just accepted.
Well, hopefully at some point the kids will just be smart enough to start realizing that people are not walking around upside down.
Yeah, we are, but it's little by little. We just have to keep going. It's not. We just sound like idiots, but in the future, more and more people are going to sound like this, and it's just the roles are going to reverse.
Oh no, before you know it, globe earthers are going to need to prove their predisposition. That won't be good.
Yeah. We just need to see what's out there. We need to encounter unknown land masses. If we do that, if we get that on camera, and if we do it live, like a 24-hour stream, all the way, and we make our own relays to ensure that the live stream is continued using buoys with transmitters. And yeah, then we can just go to some sea, and then the ballers will claim, oh yeah, you just came out on the other side or something. And then we come across like totally new lands, and we basically go on land, live stream it all, try to find landmarks, try to find traces of humans, check out the life forms. Maybe you will find something unfamiliar. And yeah, if it is actually a different continent or a different island, unknown, then we will all stream it live all the way. So let them try to explain that. See? The biggest obstacle is actually being allowed to go there and do that without being sabotaged.
From where you're gonna get the signal to stream live, Arwin?
Well, you start out with the farthest point at the Antarctic where you could be reached by a signal, and like a cell tower or whatever you're going to be using to do the live streaming over. And then if you can't get any further, we have to prefabricate buoys, like floating devices that'll stay in place with like a miniature cell tower relay. We have to construct that, so we're going to need some engineers to figure that one out, and then use that as a direct transmitter relay.
Do you realize that at that point, like, you're pretty much going to war? I mean, like against science, like full war against science, because they're not gonna allow you to build stuff and do stuff that is gonna disagree with them.
I know.
Maybe that's exactly what needs to happen.
That's why I said that's the biggest obstacle, actually being allowed to do it, and even if they don't say anything, not getting sabotaged. So, but the live streaming itself will be a bit of a safety net until we get cut off. And yeah, we might need like a security operation as a backup or something to find us.
But aren't we already kind of at war with science? I mean, science tells us that, water curves.
All right. Now, I'm not saying like,
you know what I mean? Like, we're already at war with that.
Your plan. What are the cell tower? What cell towers are going to communicate with buoys with transponders in them when they're in that right the way down there? Because it's all done land based, right?
Well, your mobile is you can get on the ocean. It can communicate. So you simply put a phone connection, a very strong phone connection, in the first buoy and then transmit the signal by other means. You just have to build the relays. That's gonna be, yeah. Through
Arwin, how often do you travel?
very rarely.
Well, I guess Travis can tell you this because we both are truck drivers, and let me tell you this, man. The signal is not what you think. Like in the cities, yeah, it's great, but when you're on the roads, there's spots that won't get any signal, and like you're just between cities. It's not that great. That's why I'm questioning, like in the seas. I don't know how you're gonna do it.
Oh, that's why I said relays. You gotta build your, well, instead of a land line like a giant cable, you're gonna put floating relays that are gonna transmit from one point to the other.
Transatlantic hotspots.
Yeah, create them as you go, like breadcrumbs that form a direct connection, basically.
And as a side effect, you'll probably find the MH370 too.
Who knows what we're gonna encounter? I'm aiming for mammoths.
Did you guys hear that IPS might have something to do with behind over the poles thing?
No.
Seventh-day Truth Seeker put out a video, and I think he apologized pretty quickly about it because he didn't want to get sued, but he was saying that IPS was behind it.
Behind what?
Behind the over the poles.
You think it's alleged that IPS has set up the over the poles flight?
There's a video about a Seventh-day Truth Seeker put it out yesterday. Which would be awesome. IPS is the guy to do it if somebody did.
It's conspiracies, man.
IPS is great.
You happen to know the title of the video?
Let me see. I'm on my phone. Let me see.
It's alright, I can find. I'm sure I'm subscribed to him.
You know what? I've talked with Greater Sabin before. I've been in his show before. So I will kindly ask him if he can give me the information we need to verify it ourselves, if he actually got the ticket.
Ask him for the ticket number.
But you have to ask him nicely, remember.
Really nicely, you know. I've got a fanboy all over him.
We still didn't get through housekeeping.
Yeah, can you chat amongst yourselves? I'm just going to watch this video to see if it's worth putting out or not.
Oof.
I love the suggestion that IPS is credited with being behind this. That's fantastic. Wonder what evidence that's based on.
Sounds like a very wild rumor.
Yep.
Well, Arwan, you had a question about the tape, what it contains.
Yes, I was wondering if it contains the raw recording that they used, that they later edited together to form the presentation to the public.
Well, we aren't exactly sure what the data is yet, but we don't think it's our mission recording data.
All right. Okay, so what have you figured out what type of data it is?
It's IBM text, so a text format for used on old IBM mainframes. So it are letters and numbers.
It's all pure code. Is that what you're saying?
No, it isn't code. It are words, abbreviations. Yes.
What type of communications?
Well, we think it are how do you say this? We think it is a list of connections used for the computer to communicate with the mission control and launch control control panels. So we think it is a list of inputs and outputs that the computer used to communicate with the launch control and mission control panels.
Right. So internal communication data, computer-based.
A list of inputs and outputs, yes.
Inputs and outputs, but does that also contain any transcript of communications done through these computers?
Okay,
no,
so I've just watched this video.
So it's just pure data.
Sorry to interrupt. I didn't see any reference whatsoever to IPS.
Isn't IPS a programmer?
I can't remember who it was that brought up that video.
Just kidding. Anyway, Jimmy got back in, so this could get interesting.
Hi guys, you alright?
Hey Jimmy.
Bye Jimmy. What
Oh,
part of
bye.
we don't want you here anymore?
Oh,
Didn't you understand?
Hi, Jimmy. So lovely to see you again.
Bye. Don't lie to us, Jimmy.
Oof.
So yeah, there was no reference to IPS in there. So I don't know if that's just somebody's decided to just insert that rumour.
Yeah, it's probably
let's
a
quash that
rumour.
rumour right now. Seventh Day Truth Seeker doesn't seem to be in any way what's it called? Associating IPS with this. Not that I can see anyway. Hello, Earth Flattener.
Yeah, bummer.
Good
Yeah, I
to
can't find it. The initial video was like 30 seconds long, and it said, I just have to get this out really quick and say that IPS had something to do with this. And then it was maybe 30 minutes later, the same person put out an apology saying that he didn't want to get sued over it, but now the videos are gone.
Yeah, I don't think IPS has got anything to do with this. It doesn't. Well,
Yeah.
There may be, obviously, anything's possible, but
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, I was just wondering if anybody had heard, because IPS is awesome, and he'd be the one to do it if it was someone like that.
Would you really call it awesome to?
Well, just I mean, in the IPS kind of way, because obviously he's a really brilliant guy, for better or for worse, and clearly has a bad past, but still a lot of the things that he said resonated with me. So
could you explain what you mean when you say
he's
could you explain what you mean when you say he's a really brilliant guy, for better or worse, particularly the or worse bit?
Well, because I guess allegedly a long time ago he was a Freemason, and he's into satanic kind of things. Obviously I don't know him, just the stuff I've seen on YouTube, but it seems like he's done a lot of diabolical things to get people's money or attention, or just things that have to do with the media. And he's just a brilliant guy. You don't know him?
No.
Yeah, I know IPS well. The trouble with IPS is he often. I see a lot of myself in IPS in terms of the way he goes about things, which doesn't necessarily do him or me any favours when we go about it in that way, because you don't necessarily leave a trail of context behind your actions. Now, when I was following IPS a bit more closely, because he was on YouTube more, it certainly contextualised itself, because you would see what he was doing and how he was doing it, and you'd have the full story. But then, for example, he was getting trolled to all hell by somebody sending him threatening emails. So his response to these anonymous threatening emails was to send like an absolute shit ton of really vicious emails back to this anonymous address. And I think it was Flat Earth Reset then confessed, or MGTV or someone, I forget who, but the perpetrator then made a video saying, look at these emails he sent. In other words, giving himself away as the anonymous person that had been sending IPS threats. So it was his way of flushing him out. I think he sent 33 emails that were like really vile, saying, I'm going to chop you up and things like this. and that person just took all of those emails and said, look at what a monster IPS is. And if nobody knows the context of that email, that he's responding to an anonymous emailer that's threatening him, and he's trying to flush that person out by being as extreme as possible, so that they give their they play their hand, or they expose their hand, and that's exactly what happened. But like I say, if you don't have the context for that, you just read an email that's from IPS that says, you know, I'm going to creep up and, you know, deal with you in your sleep or something like that. You know, it sounds bad, but then when you get the context, you go, okay, so he's not sending this to somebody, he's sending it to a faceless potato to flush them out. And then you go, oh, right, okay, well, I don't really, you might say I don't agree with his tactics, but it's like, well, he's not threatening anybody. He's being extreme to flush them out. And, you know, I can relate.
Yeah, that's what I meant by him being brilliant. I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, I say he's like a chess player. And that's why I like to listen to you, Nathan, because you're really brilliant in the same way. Yeah, in a chess player kind of way.
Oh, well, thank you. I wouldn't necessarily take that as much credit, but thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, IPS doesn't seem to be involved with this over the poles not being any way at all capable of proving a spherical Earth, and their subsequent collapse into nothingness of empty YouTube links. Not empty YouTube links, empty www addresses that go nowhere because they've all been shut down. So that's the current position that I got from Seventh Day Truth Seekers video. I'll give you the title of it so you can just look it up if you want to see it. It's called overthepoles2018.com website no show, open brackets, Globebusters, close brackets. So that's the name of that video.
Can you see it with the Wayback Machine?
I've no idea. I've just got that info from a video from Seventh Day Truth Seeker.
Because you should be able to get the website on there if it was archived at one point. Likely because it was a very popular website for some time.
Yeah, I know Ranty's used Wayback Machine in the past for various different things, so I'm sure someone will be on it. But the Over the Poles site, as I say, if you just type in overthepoles2018.com, it's gone. It's not there anymore.
It's gone? Damn.
Yeah,
Can you trace the IP address or any information, like when it was registered, to whom, and stuff?
So there we go.
Somebody's bound to have uploaded it on their computer. They could just repost it.
I was going to say Awake Souls is in the chat. Maybe we should show that meme again.
Oh, dear.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should even. We should consider his name a swear word.
You're a weirdo, man.
Did we get through housekeeping, Nathan?
Didn't even start it.
From the first. Well, there is one outstanding one that I was waiting for you to answer, ask, but you didn't ask it.
Okay, just prompt me.
Is there any evidence to the distance to the sun?
Ah, any evidence of the distance to the sun, Anthony?
No, Nathan, there's absolutely no evidence to the distance to the sun. But as you guys might be aware, I recently challenged No Simon Dan with what the current science is for the distance to the sun, because I don't know what he's going to come back with, because I can't find what the current science is for the distance to the sun, other than a circular reasoning explanation that is nonsensical and completely nonsense. To do with the transit of Venus. Now, we've all heard that the transit of Venus has long been cited as the explanation for it. But when you look into the transit of Venus point, it's usually cited from, it's usually credited to Cassini or Huygens, as far as I can tell. But I recently saw a video which has just been released on my channel, which is credited to somebody else. A guy from Liverpool who died at the age of 22, known as Jeremiah Horrocks, but his real name is John Horrocks. So basically, it's John Horrocks from Liverpool. So basically, I don't know why he's called himself Jeremiah. I assume it's to glorify himself a little bit, to give him a little bit of like mysticalness, because Jeremiah, trust me, is not a common name in Liverpool, and especially in the area that he was from in Toxteth. Anyway, I digress. the video that I've recently uploaded today is about a bloke that cites John Horrocks or Jeremiah Horrocks as the authority for the distance to the sun. Now, I'd never heard of this guy before, so when I found his citation in his video, I was most interested because it's another angle that No Simon Dan may come back at me with. But nonetheless, when I looked into it, it turns out that it's based on the circular reasoning, which is you need to know the actual size of the sun, or you need to know the actual distance to get the actual size of the sun. But in any event, you need to know one of two things that they don't know the distance or the actual size of. So either way, it's circular. He's using an accepted figure, which is the actual size of the sun, to formulate the distance, and it doesn't work because you don't know the actual size of the sun. He has another video which he gives you the answer to the how big is the sun, and it's based on the distance to the sun, which is the 93 million miles. But it's totally circular. So one video cites the other as the authority, and the other video cites the other as the authority. But nonetheless, it's just another angle for the sun, but apparently is 93 million miles away. And it's all one citation for the current science on what it is. But it did bring up one good point. At the beginning of this guy's video, he cites Aristarchus as being, quote, a really intelligent guy because he was the first to calculate the distance to the sun, notwithstanding the fact that Aristarchus was miles out with his calculations. But basically what he showed was that Aristarchus actually demonstrated the importance of the angular size point, because if you don't know the actual distance or the actual size, then you don't know the rest of the equation to be able to work out the distance to the sun, as demonstrated by Aristarchus. So if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out on my channel, because it's a good video to counter with No Simon Dan if and when he gets back to me about the current science for the distance to the sun, because I'm pretty sure he's going to mention either Venus or Mars in it somewhere. So it's more like a preemptive blow.
Excellent. I've spammed the chat with that video, so click that link. Make sure you come back.
Yay.
Do go.
Yeah, I've got something to say.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this will be very quick, you know, nothing like the tapes which took like 40 minutes. The Apollo 14 mission took high resolution photos of the lunar surface from orbit, but about, I would say, 90 photos or something. I'm not sure, so sketch that actually. Now, unfortunately, these high resolution, only 2 of these high resolution photos can be found on the National Archives, and none of the other 100 photos or something are online. So I think it's very interesting that these amazing high resolution photos, and only 2 of them are online. I've talked with someone that claims he has a high resolution source for the photos, and that they destroy NASA, but he doesn't want to put them online until NASA gives him permission or acknowledges he has the photos. So I bought about 10 of these Apollo 14 photos on eBay a week ago, and I will be scanning them and putting them online in high resolution, and it will be the first time these images are online. So I think it's interesting why NASA is hiding these images today. So maybe we will find something out. I've already scanned 1 and 9 more are coming my way.
Very cool. Wow, that's exciting too. I've got to ask a question though at this stage. The way you phrased that was to sound extremely skeptical of NASA, but my understanding is you're more on the globe side than not, shall we say? Am I wrong?
Well, I got to make... Well, first off, I want to make things sound a little juicy, you know, just because it's fun for the audience, I guess.
Good for you. It's juicy anyway, I like it.
And I've been talking to this conspiracy guy for about a year now, and I've been trying to get these images, these high resolution scans from him, but he refuses, and I think he's a lying sack of shit. I don't think he has anything at all. But you know, he says they destroy NASA, so I've asked him why they destroy NASA, so I can look on my own high resolution photos, and he still doesn't want to explain why. So I think he's lying. So yeah, that's it. I can actually screen one of my scans right now.
Oh wow, yes please.
So this is a wait, let me first get it up. This is a 20 by 24 inch print. So it's massive. It's 20 by 24 inches. So it's absolutely massive. Let me try and find it. And my scanner, which is a Epson Perfection V750 Professional, can't scan this at once. I have to scan it in 6 different sections, and then somebody else with Photoshop puts them all together into a single frame.
Have you already done this?
Yeah, I've scanned 1 and 9 more are coming. So here we have 1 and so this is the print. If it wants to load. This is 24 by 20 inches.
Okay, so it's the lunar surface.
Yes.
Do I see Aristarchus there?
I see Aristarchus there. At the bottom. But yeah, let's not get distracted.
It's going to take a while because it's a big file. It's like 8,000 by 8,000 pixels. So this is a combination of 6 different scans. And you can zoom in all the way on the craters.
Sorry to interrupt. Anybody want to check a web link website I put in the Master B Skype chat? Thank you.
So yeah, NASA does not have this photo online at this resolution. So that is just what I wanted to share.
Very cool.
You can find this online at my archive.org page in the first party space photo section. I have already uploaded all the individual scans and the combined scans.
If you can type out the link and put it into the side chat, I'll post it in the info box below the video, so it's still on the re-up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. So yeah, if you want to grab that image or anything else for that matter that may be in this site, I'll stick the link in the info box below the video so you can grab that image, have a look at it yourself.
I just have to say I wasn't expecting to see a 19-year-old when he was talking.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I thought you were at least in your 30s.
Thank you. I sound very mature for my age 10, I guess.
Well, you sound mature. You sound...
Yeah, that's what I would say, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But to be fair, you have a terrible accent.
You?
No, that's just me. No, it says you have a very distinct. No, it's.
Shut up, Arwijn.
Yes, Arwijn.
I'm Dutch too, you know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, I recognize your accent.
Yeah, I can't get fully rid of it, but I do try as much as possible.
Don't talk about accents. Mine is worst.
You don't have an accent. That's in the info box now, so, and I've put it in the chat as well if anyone wanted to look at it now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Right. You've got that in at the last minute, but I'm going to round out the show now, unless there's anything else anybody wants to add before I do.
Nope.
Anybody at all? No. In that case, I will say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate, and of course a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do, but if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend, or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!